Okay guys, what I wanted to do is I kind of wanted to go over these 4-in-1s a little bit, so that way you have a little bit better understanding of why I mounted mine the way I did on that quad. What you have is you have a plastic piece sitting right here at the bottom, and you have a little vent right here on the bottom piece of it. This is the non-heated side. Over here, if you turn it around, you can see that the bottom has the vent right there, and that the top has a vent also. So the only place that you have a vent on this is from the sides of it. And the bottom piece here, the bottom piece is a plastic piece. So you can go ahead and mount your Quattro or Qbrain or whichever 4-in-1 you have. You can go ahead and mount those on the bottom without any ventilation. But on the top is a metal plate. Right here, I'll show you. This is metal. This is your heat sink to this Qbrain here. And this is the part that you have to leave open. You can't put anything on top of it, otherwise it will overheat and go bad on you. So that is the reason why I installed the Qbrain the way that I did. Okay, so now what we've got done on the quad so far is I have the ESC installed on top of there. You can see it, and I can push down on it on the corners, and it takes the punishment of it and stays on there. It's not going to go anywhere. I'm going to go ahead and flip this upside down and show you that I've already got. First I want to show you my motors. I got the motors installed on here, and I got the wires plugged into the ESC. Here's the front of the vehicle. I have these two diodes here in the front, and that's showing me that this is the front of my vehicle. On the Quattro or the Qbrain, your motor is motor 1, motor 2, motor 3, and motor 4. And I have those hooked up to each corresponding motor to where they're supposed to go off of the Qbrain. Okay, now I'm going to flip it upside down. I'm going to show you that I already have some of these zip tied down on the wiring. The only one I don't have right now is just this one right here. I'll go ahead and do that right now. The way I'm going to do this is I'm going to do it right by the connectors, right by the billets here. So I'll go ahead and put a zip tie on that one. When you're doing that, you don't want to put too much pressure or make these wires too tight from the motor to the zip tie, because they will pull loose at some point. So there we go. I went ahead and got that zip tie down on there. They're not real tight to where I can pull them, and there's a little bit of give on there. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and grab me another little zip tie here. I'm going to go ahead and cover these wires up. And what I'm going to do is take these and turn these, give them like a little half turn to each side here, and lay them on top of each other. I don't know how easy this is going to be here. Okay, and then I'm going to take the zip tie and run the zip tie through here. Get it through. Well, maybe I should have just done it this way. Turn each one and then put the zip tie through after I've turned each one. And the reason why I'm doing this is because I'm going to tuck all the wires down below the floating board, so that way you won't see them. And go ahead and zip tie. Oops, I got the zip tie backwards. Just flip it around and zip tie those on there. like so. And there they are. They're tucked right down under the bottom of that board. Now what I'm going to do later is I will put zip ties right here under each of these arms to keep these from flopping around anywhere during flight. Okay, so that's pretty much the wiring and hiding that right there. From before, I installed these receiver wires up into the AIOP board, All-in-One Pro. I labeled each one of these so I know exactly where I need to plug them in onto the receiver. So the next time I come back, I will have all these wires plugged into this receiver. And as before, I have those 500 skids mounted to the bottom of the bottom plate already. And I'm going to be go ahead and install this top portion onto the bottom portion of the quad there, and go ahead and screw those down. And I'll install the receiver. Actually, it goes this way. And I'll install this receiver over here on the side where the receiver wires are. And I'll hook them right up, and I'll install the receiver on this side. I have this quad running on the bottom plate, so the longest part is from side to side rather than front and rear. So that way I can install my receiver, and then I got the UBLOX for the GPS receiver for the All-in-One Pro will go on the other side, and they weigh pretty much about the same, so it's not going to throw it off of one side to the other. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and install the bottom plate and put the receiver on and plug it in, and I'll be back from there.